Hello everyone, we are back with another manga versus anime comparison. On today's episode, chapter 127 of the manga was animated, and once again, chapter 123 is not animated yet, so if you're an anime only, don't read that chapter because you will be spoiled. By the way, it's very likely that this season will end on chapter 130 considering the remaining episodes, so it's very likely that we will get an anime movie for the end of Attack on Titan, or maybe a third part with around 9 episodes. Now, beginning this comparison, we can see in this scene that Jan's expression was improved a bit by Mappa. Also in this moment, we see Hangi and Mikasa from another angle in the anime, and as usual we see the Mappa's close-up style, and I think that this scene was better shown in the manga, but it's just a personal opinion. I also feel that Mikasa doesn't look too worried in the anime during this moment. I felt that her reaction in the manga was more natural personally. And Hangi's reaction here was loyal to the manga, but I really miss watching this panel from this different angle. And there's other changes of angles, like on this one where we see Jan and Mikasa's reaction shown from a different perspective. Now when Hangi talks about her role as a commander, the manga had a panel showing her face while saying this. Instead, the anime showed the wings of liberty, that I consider a good choice. When the past members of the Survey Corps that died before are shown, Jan's reaction seeing Marco shows only one eye of him while he's speechless remembering. The scene when the group is having their first meeting had a general take in the manga. The anime added some extra zoom-ins showing the food in a Studio Ghibli style. The manga panel also appeared in the anime, by the way. I'm not saying that this was deleted. In this scene, Mappa added some extra zoom in to the characters when Hangi and Magat were talking. And here we can see another perspective change, and another one, and another one. Annie's expression in the manga wasn't so aggressive during this scene. She seems a bit worried about everything. I think that she looks too serious in the anime in general. This panel of the soldiers resting next to the card titan didn't appear in the anime. When Pieck is talking to Yelena ends up smiling in this manga panel, and I think that it was easier to spot her smile here more than in the anime. During this moment that we see Yelena and Jan talking about Marco, Mappa did some zoom-ins to Jan and the bottle of beer that he's drinking. Reiner's reaction after noticing that Annie was about to speak about what happened with Marco seemed more natural in the manga than in the anime, as we can easily read his thoughts in these panels. Hangi's reaction to the story of Reiner didn't appear in the manga, and I think that this was a good approach by Mappa. For this part of the video, I don't want to post like a singular panel. This is a whole page. It's actually page 36 of chapter 127. I felt that the anime was more worried about the ambience than in the conversation between Reiner and Jan. Maybe some of you might disagree with me in this, but I felt that Mappa could have done this scene way better than they did here. As an example, I remember Grisha's despair from a few episodes ago. Maybe they could have applied this style of animation of the confession of Reiner, maybe showing the despair in his face, but I don't really saw it in this episode. I think the good thing about this episode was how they animated this scene of Jan beating Reiner, and they even take their time to add a few extra punches of Jan during this scene before Armin and Connie are able to separate them. When Jan is kicking Reiner in the manga, Gabi protects him with her back. In the anime instead, I think she was hidden in her chest. This zoom in on Jan's face before Gabi speaks didn't appear in the manga. In the manga, it wasn't clear that Connie was grabbing Jan still during this moment. In the anime, Mappa made it more easy to notice. And on the next day, Mappa added this extra frame of Gabi and Falco smiling to Jan as they notice that he will join them after all. This isn't really a manga difference, but I really enjoyed how Mappa animated the card titan approaching the group. And to finish this comparison, when Pieck is explaining about what happened with Harbor, the manga had a panel with the reaction of everyone. In the anime this wasn't shown, and they skipped into the Harbor scene showing how the Jaggerists are waiting for them. Overall, I think this episode was good. I didn't like some details, but I think that it was an okay episode. It wasn't the best episode of the season obviously, but we need some character development as we are approaching to an encounter with the Jaguars probably, as we saw in this anime episode. While I was editing this video, I recently heard that there's rumors that the last episode will be of 1 hour on this season. So if the rumors are right and the season ends on chapter 130, I don't think that a movie is possible since you will have around 3 hours of animation to go, and I don't think that Mappa will make a movie of 3 hours for Shingeki. I think it's very likely to have a part 3 in case that the season ends on chapter 130 more than a movie. So this is it guys, hope you have enjoyed this video, and as I always say, thank you and see you soon.